Hey, what do Joe Montana and Paige Stoyankovich have in common?
Oh my God, hold on. But they both played in the Bay Area, more or less.
No, Sacramento doesn't count as the Bay.
I mean, ask people in Sacramento that. Peter Stoyakovich and Joe Montana, what do they both have in common?
Yeah,
Long distance sharpshooters.
I don't think anybody's
Marksman. Long
ever.
distance marksman, I'll say that.
No, simpler.
I don't know.
They both wore number 16.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
To which we are on episode 16.
Oh, you trying to
Welcome
be
to
you cheeky fuck, I see.
Next Man Up Sports Podcast, episode number 16. Welcome back to those that are watching, all the new viewers. Thank you for choosing us.
Welcome.
Let's get into the news. I am or half of the dynamic duo that is Bobby G and Shaka.
How y'all doing? Welcome, man.
All right. Genuinely excited for this episode for our closing topic. So let's get on with the goods. Even though it's Saturday, of course, we're doing Fit Friday. Check in for those just joining us. October was Suicide Prevention Month. Along
September.
with that, September.
Yeah.
My apologies.
It's all good.
Suicide Prevention Month. Along with that goes into mental health, which has been a hot topic all year. So we've come up with Fit Friday as a way to, check in with your homies. Us being men, especially black men, being vulnerable in front of each other, with each other, in conversation or whatever, isn't cool. It's not macho, but we need to break down those stereotypes because mental health is a real issue in all communities, not just the black community, not just with men.
Mm-hmm.
But we got that fall down, get up, dust it off, don't cry. That's how men are raised. We're not expected to show emotion or just be vulnerable in life, and this starts from birth pretty much. Mm-hmm. Whereas your girl fall down, oh, are you okay? It's like the difference in raising boys and girls. So with that, we check in with each other. We would, like you got, check in with your cousins, your nephews, your uncles, your dads, your granddads, your great granddads if they're still around. Mm-hmm. Just make sure everybody's doing okay. So with that being said, where's your checkup at, man?
Well, right before that, kind of to your point. One of the quotes that I like that I feel like we don't use enough. Like everybody's heard it in some capacity. It's like, in my opinion, the best quote that we have on something like courage is courage is not the absence of fear. It's being afraid and moving forward anyway. That always, in my opinion, gets taken the wrong way. Like, yeah, the message is still sound, but it's what are you acknowledging there? It's what we're trying to acknowledge.
Right.
Having an emotion is okay.
Yeah.
You need to acknowledge that you're emotional. You need to acknowledge how you feel. And only in doing so can you then move forward. Only in acknowledging, I'm afraid right now.
Right.
But I'm going to persist. That's courage.
Right.
Just acting like you're not afraid of anything isn't courage. It's stupidity.
Yeah.
You have to be afraid of something. One other annoying quote, because you know me, I'm a geek and I love movies. But from The Dark Knight Rises, what was said to Batman when he was in in the cell, healing from his back being messed up. And the little sage in the other cell was like, you think, being unafraid makes you strong.
Right.
It makes you, he was like, and instead it makes you weak. Mm. How can you're like a lack of the fear of death. Like, right. How can you push past where you ever think that you can if you don't have a fear?
Yeah, if you don't have a limit.
Yeah, if you're not afraid of that, I cannot go further. So it's like acknowledging that you do have emotions, acknowledging whether it's it's strength or it's fear or it's sadness or it's any of these things. Coming to terms with those and acknowledging them is actually a true form of courage. Running away from them, locking them down in a box, acting like they don't exist, that's not healthy and that's not strong.
Right.
So that's what we're all hoping for, me and you, with this Fit Friday thing, is to get them out of that mentality of thinking that there's something wrong with being emotional or not being okay. For me right now, to answer your question, I'm good. It's been a good week. No complaints. I've had some fortunate things happen in my personal life, so I'm happy about that. So I'm good. I'm good right now.
There we
You
go.
know, always trying to get better and always looking for new opportunities to try to improve on everything going on. But as of right now, knock on wood, no complaints.
Yeah,
What about
same.
you? Yeah.
Same. Yeah. You know, had the issue with the knucklehead. We straightened her out. We've been looking at high schools this past week, going to visit,
Oh,
see,
it's getting rough, man.
which high school would best suit her development as a young woman. And then Knucklehead Part 2, which is,
Little
my
man.
son. Yeah. They just started, he's in kindergarten, but recently they started giving him like first and second grade work to bring home because kindergarten is a waste of time for him.
Yeah, no.
Everything he's learning now, we taught him at home, and it's like,
Yeah, he's way ahead.
yeah, and
He's way ahead.
he shows an interest. Like he'll just randomly read a book, or he'll randomly YouTube like math. He's a weirdo.
He loves math, man. I think you got a little mathematician genius on your hands. Because every time I'm over there kicking it, even if I'm on the sticks, it's like he'll grab his little laptop and want to be playing math games the whole time.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm like, that's fun for you.
I'm like, he's a weirdo, but in a good way.
Yeah,
in a good way.
dope. So, hey, shout out to the family doing better. It's
Yeah.
good. How are you feeling?
Good segue into shout outs.
Oh,
I'm good.
Shout outs. Yeah, we can go into shout outs. You first.
I'm good.
I got a shout out that's on the negative side, but it's not my next man up of the week. So, oh shit. Ooh, I'm almost destroying the studio. My bad. Go ahead.
Shout outs actually go to two guys. Some fights last weekend. We didn't announce during the show because, to be honest, they really weren't interesting. You had your guy UFC Usman.
Yeah.
In a rematch with was it Covington?
Colby Covington.
Yeah, and he won like 99.9% of people thought he would.
Yeah.
Canelo Alvarez also had a fight last weekend, and he won like 100% of people thought he would.
I'm so disappointed. Real quick before you continue, I'm so disappointed. I put a poll up, and I didn't release the results because I didn't get nearly enough like interaction. Like, come on, y'all got to. I wanted to see what people thought about me going 8 rounds with Canelo. I was hoping to get more of a response, man. I really wanted to see what it was, but it basically broke down to 50-50, which I'm cool with. If I got a 50-50 shot against Canelo, I'm fucking killing.
But was it 100% that you wouldn't last the 8 rounds?
No, it was 50 that it was 100%. Yeah. Yeah, no one said it'd go 8. The way that the poll was structured, it was either I win by knockout or Canelo beats me in 4 or less.
Yeah,
So
I gave it 2 minutes.
Yeah, well, that's 2 minutes.
People
figured I'd get a knockout. So
it's not based on skill. It's just.
If I can hit him early.
No, it's just like. It's been some years since you've been in that environment.
Man, hey, why you gotta age me like that? I'm still looking good. Come on. But yeah, cool. I don't know how quick these hands still are.
Right.
I still got the power. I know that. The power ain't there. You've seen it firsthand. The power ain't going nowhere.
Now,
the speed though.
one of the Paul brothers. That I'll give you,
bro. I'm hoping, and I'll start training literally in January of this year. But I'm hoping that by this time next year, we got a big enough podcast, like following and everything else, so I can fight one of them motherfuckers. Because I promise y'all, I'm not gonna let that shit go more than like 2 rounds. I'm fucking them up. Like they annoy the shit out of me. So I'm just hoping I'm gonna start training in January, and I'm just gonna stay on the ready in case we get big enough. Please believe I'm stepping in there with these old busted ass knees. Because I'm not going. We ain't going the distance. I'm knocking one of them boys the fuck out.
Like, dude, those
let's go to
Usman and Canelo.
Fights,
both champions represented well. Canelo's probably, when it's all said and done, will be the best boxer of his generation. Usman is looking that same way UFC wise, probably being the best of his generation. in the octagon. So shout out to those two champions. Congratulations on your victories.
Usman, please stop talking about trying to set up a fight with Alvarez, like a boxing match.
That won't work out.
Please don't do that. Stay your lane because you're crushing your lane.
Yeah.
Alvarez is. I'm obviously on here joking around. You could definitely pay me enough to get in the ring with Alvarez, but just hopping in there, fuck no, I'm not hopping in. That's not a dude I'd even want to see in a street fight, regardless of the fact that I'm pretty sure I'd fuck him up. Do I want to take that chance?
I mean, it's something.
Do I feel like getting knocked out low key in the street by a little ginger? Nah, I'm good.
But for people, there's something to be said when the only fight you've lost in your life is to arguably one of the top 3 of all time.
Yeah.
Literally the only blemish on his resume is Floyd Mayweather.
Yeah. And then you got the draw against Triple G, which I mean, I'm so mad Triple G kind of just fell off the map. Anyway, so that was just shout out. My negative one is I guess it's a positive and negative. It's a funny one to me, I guess. I've been trying all day to figure out how to phrase this correctly, and I can't get it right. So I'm just gonna put it out there and then work my way through it. The Carolina Panthers are idiots.
Okay.
So shout out to Cam Newton for that hilarious comeback. He was like, "Oh, y'all gonna try out some other people? Y'all gonna cut me, and then I'm now your replacements." So my replacement, his replacement, and I'm now replacing him. How the fuck that shit works down? And what I'm saying, the Carolina Panthers are idiots, is because they just by re-signing Cam Newton, they're paying both of his replacements as well as paying him. Because they're still paying Teddy Bridgewater's contract, even though he's playing in Denver. And they're paying fucking Sam Darnold, who was Teddy Bridgewater's replacement. And now you're paying Cam Newton again.
Right.
Shout out to being the dumbest fucking GM in the league. What was I talking about? My next man up a week ago was the GM for the Atlanta Braves. So I'm like, way to make smart GM decisions. Right. And then the following week, y'all want to see the fucking opposite of that? Pay 3 quarterbacks, one of them twice. And one of them who's not on your team anymore, all in this season.
Right.
Congratulations for being the dumbest fucking GM in the league. So that's my shout out on the negative. Yeah.
There's still that guy that drafted Zach Wilson number 2 overall.
Wow.
To be fair.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, to be fair. But no. He drafted 1 quarterback. He's not paying 3 different quarterbacks. Right. And the third of which was originally on the roster 2 years ago. All right, that was amazing. That's an amazing turn of events. Right. It's like an M. Night Shyamalan twist. Maybe that's why Cam Newton dresses so funny. Is that he's secretly, fucking Joaquin Phoenix did it for that year and a half. Where he was pretending to have this whole different life. Maybe that's what the fuck Cam Newton been doing with M. Night Shyamalan, but they ain't telling nobody, and this was the twist that's gonna come in.
I don't know, but shout out to Cam because he's got that brand. Those hats are fire. The hats are, and he has his own brand of hats. So
I mean, if he has his own brand, then shout out to him. That's what's up.
He's got a cigar shop in Atlanta. We need to pay a visit to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I heard it's that spot.
Say less. You said cigars in Atlanta. I'm in.
Yeah.
Except for please don't let me anywhere. I feel like this is weird. This is what I keep telling you. I think that this life is a game. I've been telling you this for at least well over a year, right? I've had this is now the at least 7th reference to me needing to go to Atlanta in the last 2 weeks I've had, and I'm like, do we need to make a trip to Atlanta?
Atlanta is fun.
Please keep me away from the strip
Very
clubs.
fun.
That's all I'm gonna say.
You gotta go to Madison. Good wings.
Bro, you know I'm no good.
Great wings.
So if I go to Atlanta, apparently I ain't coming back. So whenever we have our show, letting y'all know we're going to go check out a Hawks game, or we wouldn't pay to see the Falcons, but we're going to see a Hawks game. I might not come back.
All right.
You don't let me in Magic City. God damn it.
All right. NMU of the week.
Oh, mine's got to be automatic. You should know this. This is automatic as a jump shot, baby. My next man up has to be Chef fucking Curry.
2 weeks
Steph
in a row.
Curry, yes. No, it's not 2 weeks in a row.
It's 2 weeks in a
No,
row.
last week I gave it to the GM, remember? I just went over that. I gave it to the GM for the Atlanta Braves. It was the
And
week before.
Steph Curry.
No, it was the week before I
Okay,
gave it
2
to
out of
Steph
3.
Curry. I told you I was going to happen a lot. But this one, again, is with merit. And here the merit. The reason I'm giving him the next man up for me this week is that he's played only 2 games this week and put up a combined 90 points and 15 assists, both in dubs. The Golden State Warriors are 11-1, leading the league. And, dude, he is going nuts. Oh, on top of all of that, last night, he put up 9. He was 9 for 17 from 3, hit 9 threes, which gave him the all-time lead in three-pointers now, passing Ray Allen for regular season and playoffs included. He's 77 three-pointers short, overtaking Ray Allen's regular season three-point record, which is the only one left for Curry to get. And on his current pace, that's about 10 to 12 games. So that's why I'm like, he's my next man up. He put up 50. 50 the other night. I think it was like Tuesday night, 50 and 10, and then came back last night, put up 40 and 5. So yeah, for him, it's not a biased thing. It's like if you look around, I literally looked around the NBA to see if anybody was comparable. Nobody had as good of a week as Steph Curry. Even in the NFL, I was leaning towards maybe going with what's going to sound like a homer, but it was with Javonte Williams, rookie running back for the Denver
He's having
Broncos.
a solid rookie campaign.
Yeah, he's only played, and this was crazy. It's like crazy stats. He's only in his 5th game, like coming off the bench because he was originally on the bench. He's in his 5th game. He has 466 yards rushing, and he's leading the league in broken tackles. That includes Derrick Henry before injury. He's at 35.
Yeah,
like,
people
dude does
don't
not
believe me
go
when I say
down.
Derrick Henry's not a top 5 running back.
No, I'm okay. That's different. That's a different. We'll have that debate.
No, I'm saying people don't believe me. But then you can have stats like people don't believe me.
But if you look at Javonte Williams' run, that boy runs
angry.
Yeah. Like
he was a angry run winner.
Yeah.
Good Morning Football.
Yeah, I thought he might get another one because he ran through like 7 Dallas Cowboys for like a 25-yard gain. So I was leaning heavily towards him. I'm trying to stay away from any bias. So obviously, I haven't given one to the Broncos, so I was trying to stay away from that.
Right,
being linked to a bias. And so thankfully, Steph Curry came out and put up 90 points in 2 games, and it made it an easy decision for me. So that's my next man up, man. Steph Curry. Shout out Golden State. Shout out 11-1. Shout out MVP Steph Curry.
I like to go with the unsung heroes. So my next man up of the week is actually going to go to an organization.
Okay.
We're both sports fanatics.
Yeah.
I'm just going to quit using the word fans. We are sports fanatics. We look at the game way too much and way too differently. A big part of sports is psyching people out, playing the meta game, the mental game. Last week, Kansas City Chiefs played the Green Bay Packers. Jordan Love started the game for the Green Bay Packers due to Aaron Rodgers having COVID. I
feel like I know what you're going to do.
My next man up of the week is going to the Kansas City Chiefs. Because in getting into his head, this man is making the first start of his career. Is so far the best moment of his life. His mother and his girlfriend were in attendance, and the Kansas City Chiefs put his mom and his girlfriend's comp seats the literal last row of the stadium.
The worst seats possible.
Yeah.
That shit was
like they were
hilarious.
literally backs against the wall.
You want to talk about fucking petty?
Yeah.
At a legendary level. And that is fucking petty.
Right. And you want to talk about getting in somebody's head because that text came as soon as they sat down. Like, bro, they have us way up.
Dude, how mad would you be?
I would be heated. And shout out to his girlfriend for still being with him after the game because I'm like, bro, you couldn't have hit like SeatGeek.
Dude, that shit's fucking.
You know what? Better yet,
I'm crying right now. Like,
how did the GM get us some field passes? Like, bro, they were. I've never.
Bro, I don't know.
Backs against the wall.
I don't know how that happened. How y'all let that happen?
Right.
It's another question I got for the Green Bay Packers. I'm like, what are y'all doing?
Yeah, I know it was on the road.
You had Aaron Rodgers talking shit about how y'all treat y'all players, and it's like, yo, how you let my mom's How you not have a single runner on the team? Bring that to anybody's attention, bro.
Right.
Like, I'm starting the game. It's my first NFL start. You know it's protocol for them to like contact your family and shit. Where was the motherfucker like, hey, boss. Hey, you see these? They got Jordan Love's mom. Right? Okay, but this is the
Right.
stadium. This is the guy. They have him over here. They need to be like here.
Their
Where
seats-
was that guy?
Their seats were like in a baseball stadium.
There was some dude that was just like, fuck it.
So,
oh shit! You know what it was? I'm gonna make a brief political joke. It was this mass exodus, people quitting their jobs. Like there was a record like 4.4 million people quit their jobs last month. It was probably that motherfucker. That's how that happened.
He quit.
He looked at it, was like, y'all ain't paying me enough for this shit.
I'm not dealing with this.
Hey, fuck her. I don't know. I'm out. And quit. And that's why Jordan Love's mom. There was nobody to call. They was calling about it. He quit. He was like, fuck it, dude.
Yeah.
Like, y'all ain't paying me enough for this shit.
So yeah, shout out to the Kansas City Chiefs for getting in Jordan Love's head before the game even started.
That's how you play. That's what's your guy Tony G. Welcome to the game.
Yeah, to the game.
It's a game within a game within a game. That's some Bill Belichick shit. That's literally like straight out the Bill Belichick playbook. Like
I'm gonna sit your family in the I wouldn't even call it nosebleeds. Like they were in heaven.
Except for Belichick probably would have had him like detained in security for the whole first quarter. Thoroughly searched, like made a bomb threat and shit. Like just hassled the fuck out of them. Don't like not believe their IDs at all. Like Belichick would have fucked with them like crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, segue. Because it's actually, I know we want to talk about Odell Beckham in LA. We're going to right now.
Yeah.
But I got to give credit where credit's due. And I hate to do this shit, especially when it's to you. But my man called out that the New England Patriots, speaking of Bill Belichick, you said that you believe they'd be a playoff team. If the playoffs started today, they would be the playoff team. I can't fucking believe that they're 5-4 and like in control more or less of their fate.
Yeah.
I have more to say on that when we get into our picks for the week. Right. I got more to say on that.
Yeah, I would say hold it because it's they have a very crucial game this weekend.
So I just wanted that was a quick thought. Like I saw that as I was looking through the show. I was like, wow, I can't believe the fucking Patriots are even in the conversation right now. And my Jets.
Jets.
Oh God,
they might have found a quarterback in the future.
Mike White.
Yeah.
Hey, yeah, like a perfect passer rating. Low key.
Yeah.
All right, so Odell Beckham to LA. I know that we had, for people tuning in, I don't know if y'all paying attention to this, we got this news literally breaking like right before we came on to record this episode about Robert Woods on the LA Rams going down for the season. And we were going to talk about, naturally, Odell Beckham going to the LA Rams. I know we had kind of a way we were going to initially approach this, but now with this new news, does that change what your thoughts were on the Odell Beckham signing? Does it change his mind?
It does slightly.
Okay.
Slightly. It's super teams have not worked out in the NFL the way they've worked in the NBA. Right. We've seen it. I can't remember what season it was, but the Eagles, when you had Mike Vick, Vince Young was Michael Vick's backup. You had Deshaun Jackson, was LaShawn McCoy. Like they had a squad, and I think they won like 6 games that season. But anytime teams have tried to stack the deck in the NFL, it just hasn't worked out. And I feel like Sean McVay he's at a poker table right now, and he has no chips, and he's putting his watch in the pot. Like if this don't work out, there's literally no one to blame but you. That's like I told you before. If it doesn't work, I don't see him losing his job. But if they get like booted in the first round of the playoffs, or which let's say they finish with the 1 seed, which would be the divisional round, they go 1 and out. I can't be mad if the Rams move on. As great as you've been. So he's playing a dangerous game, and with adding Odell, even though Robert Woods out, Odell Beckham's played 1 playoff game. In that game, he got targeted like 13 times and had like 2 catches. Dropped up. Everybody remembers. They played Green Bay and Lambeau. the infamous trip. He took the whole wide receiver room down to Miami to get ready for a game in Lambeau Field, and then came out and laid an egg in that playoff game. A lot of people blamed him for that. Then, of course, after that, he had the injury seasons. Was traded to Cleveland. Kind of still going through injuries, the chemistry issues with Baker or the schematics of the offense. So it's like
little column A, little column B.
Yeah. Even in looking at him with the Browns, like we carry 5 wide receivers on the roster. He was 5th in routes run to get open.
Yeah.
So it's like you can blame the QB all you want, bro. You're not getting open, and we don't have word like these. Jarvis Landry, maybe the only one on your level. DPJ, he can be something, but right now these guys shouldn't be on your level. They're getting open. Why can't you get open? Even when he does get open, he's dropping the ball.
Mm-hmm.
Crucial 4th down, 4th and 1 drop against the Chargers. Crucial 4th down drop against the Steelers. And then you hear tidbits when something goes wrong. Well, OBJ kind of wasn't always where it was supposed to be. Sean McVay's offense is precise. There's no room to freelance. Like, if it's a slant on 3, you better be turning on that 3rd step. Like, you have to be precise in this offense. Matthew Stafford, while he's mobile, he's not a scrambling QB. He's a pocket QB. He's playing amazing football. I know you couldn't stand Matthew Stafford.
No, I still don't.
But I think this season has like elevated him. And you see,
yeah, like I've grown to appreciate Matthew Stafford this season.
That it wasn't all him in Detroit, like
which is what I said at the beginning of like the power rankings when we were talking about that. We were obviously talking about the Rams then as a potential huge team,
right?
And that was what I was saying. I took an honest stance, and I'm being honest with it. It was like I was not sold on Matthew Stafford. I'm still not sold, but I'm getting there.
Right.
Like I know people. I was reading on ESPN and on NFL.com a couple of their like editorials on who they have for MVP, whatever. Mm-hmm. And Matthew Stafford's leading the charge. I don't think that that's accurate.
Fair.
I wouldn't put it outside somebody to be like, yo, they're 7-2. He's playing out of he's having a career season. He should be in the top 5. Yeah, I don't think that he's the MVP. But is he playing? He's to me
he's
Josh
playing at
Allen.
that level.
Like to me, he's Josh Allen last year.
Okay.
Like Josh Allen last year far exceeded expectation, but never blew my socks off.
Okay.
Like that's why when people are like, oh, he should be MVP, I'm like, should he? I'm like, yeah, he's playing great.
Right.
Like he's clearly a top 5 quarterback in the league, but I don't think he's the MVP of that team. And if he's not the MVP of that team, I don't know if he's the MVP of the league. You know what I'm saying? That's the same way I feel about Matthew Stafford. I'm like, you're having a great season.
Right.
It's only getting better. And then with this, I have a scenario that just popped into my head as you were going through all of that, man. Yeah. I had a premonition.
Uh-oh.
I had a premonition. I think Sean McVay keeps his job.
Yeah, I do as well.
But this is hear the whole story. This is the whole premonition I had as you was talking. I was seeing the pieces coming together.
Mm.
Sorry for the long pause.
Dramatic pause.
It was not intentional. I swear to God. I was trying to think of how to start the sentence. The LA Rams are going to lose an NFC Championship game to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Okay.
And they're going to lose on a missed long 50-plus yard field goal. And that's why Sean McVay is going to keep his job.
Okay.
They're going to be in a very tight battle to go to the and the winner of that game is going to win the Super Bowl, whether it's Tampa Bay or whether it's the LA Rams.
Okay.
Winner of that game wins the Super Bowl. Why is it going to be Tampa Bay? It's going to come down to something that's not in Sean McVay's control, not in Matthew Stafford's control, not in Odell's control, or Aaron Donald or Jalen Ramsey. It's not going to be able to be blamed on them. The kicker's going to miss. Okay. The kicker will miss the field goal that should have won them the game, and they'll end up losing the game to Tampa Bay. It's the premonition I just had. Y'all heard it here first. Y'all heard it here first, goddammit.
But with that, it's like Odell is, for the rest of the season, Odell Beckham will have the biggest microscope of anybody in the NFL on him. Because you can't blame the quarterback. You can't blame the coach. You can't blame the play calling. And now, with Robert Woods being out, you can't blame not getting touches because
But
you're gonna get touches.
That's why I gotta disagree with you again. Like I got to, because I think that this is perfect. Because again, with Robert Woods going out, that's why I said my whole perspective on this trade or this signing changed. Because I was telling you when the signing went down before we could record today, I was like, I don't like it. We both didn't like it. I'm like, you're complaining about not getting targets, not getting touches, and you're going to a team that is like already good,
Right?
Super good at that position. You know, with everything running through Cooper Kupp first, then going through Robert Woods, then going through now Van Jefferson. Like, where do you fit?
Right.
Now Robert Woods is out. Oh, you fit in perfectly. And where I think it's perfect for Odell, not only is he stands to make more money this year, depending upon his play, than he would have played with Cleveland. So there's that bonus for him. But also it's like, because the Rams are so good and because they already had the high expectations because they were already playing well, they're 7-2, there's not going to be a lot expected from him. And I don't think that he's going to be complaining because he's going to be able to fall into the background, so to speak, like still be a secondary, like a prime, like a big name on a team, without having to be the savior. Like with Cleveland, yes, as we were talking about, like you want to say you want to go into a winning team. Cleveland's struggling right now. There's no way around it. Where a lot of Cleveland struggles, and I think that was the pressure being brought on from both sides, was why can't Baker and Odell link up? That was the argument for that for weeks. We were talking about it before the season. Like their completion percentage was terrible. So if the Browns don't succeed, there's a heavy amount of microscope on Odell. Why aren't you catching the ball? Why don't you have more yards? Then it comes into the Baker versus Odell. Like, it's just like there's all that toxicity that's already brewing. You go to the Rams, they were already good. They were being good. Now you just literally replace Robert Woods to where like they haven't lost a step, to where they're gonna be good, and you're not at all gonna be blamed. Even if Robert Woods hadn't gotten hurt, you're not gonna be blamed whatsoever for the Rams' success or failure. You know what I'm saying? You'll only be credited for the success, but not for their failure, because of what we've been talking about all the way up until this point. The Rams, it's Super Bowl or bust, you were saying, for Sean McVay. Like, that's been our preseason expectation for what? 15 episodes, 16 episodes now. He's moving into a situation, it's like, no one's going to expect you to be the savior.
I think you're right in that aspect. But he will be blamed for messing up Cleveland. We already played our hand this week. We got rid of you. We went out and smacked the Bengals.
Yeah.
You got to produce Monday night, bro. You can't come out your first game and have 2 catches for 30-something yards, even if you're just learning the system. You can't come out with a crucial drop. Like, he literally has to have a 100-yard game.
I don't think he does.
Monday night.
I think he just have one of his signature catches. Like, that's literally all he needs to do.
See, that's the problem.
If he just has one good catch,
that's the problem.
That's all that matters.
That's the problem now. That one catch. Take away that catch, and all these expectations on Odell Beckham never exist. Because I was watching, I can't remember who was talking about it, but they were talking about that season, and they were like, he missed a lot of games because of injury, and then came back and still led the league in receiving, and he made that catch. We've never seen that done before. And I'm watching, and y'all ever heard of Josh Gordon? Who missed like 15 games, played one game, and led the NFL in receiving.
That's what it felt like. That's what it felt like.
With Brian Hoyer as his quarterback.
Wait, no, that season he played
10 games.
Oh, he played 8. He missed 6 and then played 10 games.
Led the league in receiving.
And it was by a
touchdowns.
Lot. And it was by a lot.
Right.
Like, it wasn't like, he got it by a couple. He won the receiving yards by like 300.
Yeah, he had like 3 games where he had 200 yards receiving. Yeah. Like, it's insane. I'm like,
I think the pressure's off Odell.
Recency bias.
I think the pressure's off Odell, and I think that's why he picked the Rams.
I
think it was a good enough. I think it was a great decision. In hindsight, I think it was a stupid decision because there's no way. Like, before Robert Woods goes down for the year,
right?
Which no one could have predicted. It literally just happened like this morning. So it's like, this isn't even some shit that happened, and then Odell was like, I'll sign with them. Like Deshaun Jackson with the Raiders kind of situation. Like, Deshaun Jackson gets released from the Rams.
Yeah, and I think that's the move that is probably now looking like a bad idea.
What, Deshaun Jackson to the Raiders?
Getting released in general. That now looks like a bad move.
Which one?
Deshaun Jackson being released from the Rams.
Oh, yeah. because you could have used him now.
Yeah,
you could have used him now. That would have benefited the shit out of Odell.
Yeah,
and Cooper Kupp, because Cooper Kupp is one of the best route runners I've seen in years.
Yeah,
so it's like, but he's also not. But he's not a speedster. He has enough, but he's not a speedster. He's shifty. Yeah, I'm like, if you had Deshaun Jackson run straight go routes. I feel like that's where me and you cheese Madden, because we get a player like that, and it's like, bro, just know that hot route. We're only changing one route. It doesn't matter where Deshaun Jackson is. He's running to go. Yeah, because I'm gonna clear out at minimum 2 of your players, because you're gonna have to send that safety. Because I guarantee your DB ain't keeping up. And if you don't send the safety, touchdown. So I'm like, if they had him, Deshaun Jackson would have definitely helped the Rams. But again, I think Odell, it was a fortuitous move. That's what I'm saying. It was a fortuitous move.
There's a word.
That he signed with the Rams, and a couple of days later, their number 2 wide receiver goes down, just opening the gate for him to just, I'm going to follow it up, acquiesce into the situation. just ease into it, you know what I'm saying? Just, all right, so after Odell, let's go ahead. We got
pick time.
Oh, did you want to talk about like how this is this like a problem that we're starting to see of NFL and NBA? Because this kind of goes into the Ben Simmons situation hugely.
True.
This goes into the Kyrie Irving situation. This goes into the James Harden situation of these players forcing their way out. And now you're seeing it starting to happen in the NFL, which is actually interesting to me. I'm happy to see it personally in the NFL, because I feel like NFL players for decades have not had nearly enough say or control over their contracts.
That's a fair point.
Even though it's still super risky. Because even like this shit, like with Odell leaving, it was like he didn't know where his next check was going to come from. If he got claimed off of waivers, then there's like, this team might pay this amount, this team might pay this amount, but then if he doesn't get claimed off of waivers, then the Browns were able to eat some of that. So it's like all of these questions about your money, but technically for Odell, until he gets on the Rams, now the rest of his calendar year, contract year, is just incentives. So it's like, what do you want to talk about players forcing their way out? Do you think that it's because the contracts are shit, both, or not both, but in all, NFL, MLB, NBA, or do you like what's your stance on it, man?
MLB, you don't really hear about it too much
on this.
Yeah, and it's all situational as well. Like the Ben Simmons, I have more sympathy for the Ben Simmons situation than I do for James Harden's situation. It's like, dude, for years this franchise gave you everything you wanted, and didn't work out for whatever reason. It didn't end in a championship. And then you decide to come in out of shape. And like, I want out. Like, and basically just coming to get further, I'm not coming to camp. Then when you do come to camp, you're out of shape. How can we help you, bro? Like, hey, take our fat shooting guard. For Ben Simmons, they were thinking about moving him for James Harden. So they already the team planted the seed.
That's your expendable.
Right, you're expendable. The season goes on. He has the playoffs that he has. Doc Rivers makes that statement. Can you win the championship? Dude, I don't know. Okay, does my coach believe me? Team already let me know I'm expendable. Now the
city hates me.
Right.
And on top of that, you're in one of the most notoriously toxic fan base cities in the country.
Right. And does my coach believe in me?
To Philly fans, like, I'm not shitting on y'all, but y'all are fucking nuts. Like, y'all know what you about. Yeah. If we reaching anybody in Philly, if y'all are picking this up, like, y'all know
they threw snowballs at Santa Claus.
Fucking nuts. Like, what's wrong with you? At least Buffalo Bills fans wait until they're like drunk at the tailgate. Y'all are just mad all the fucking time at everyone. But it's the city of brotherly love. Yeah. Y'all fucking hate so much. Like, so I get Ben Simmons being, a little traumatized by the city of Philly.
And it's earned. You got your coach really doesn't believe me. The team already let you know you're spending. You know what? I'm all right. Trade me. I get that. But like James Harden just coming in for no reason. Like, we need a second superstar. All right, we'll give you CP3. who just took a team to the finals. So was it him or was it you? It's not working out.
Wait, no, CP3 hadn't gone to the finals.
He hadn't yet, but
by
taking the team to the finals, okay, he should. Was it him or was it you?
Yeah,
you get rid of him. We give you your old teammate. We give you Russell Westbrook. Was it him or was it you? Like everything they've done,
James Harden is just
the coach you want,
in my opinion, and that's his own thing. But yeah,
you want to leave because you can't take the team to the next level, even though you literally have a team willing to do whatever it takes.
What do you think
to get you there?
What do you think is the appropriate way for a player that doesn't want to be with a franchise anymore to get out? Because we know that just talking to the franchise doesn't work. Like just walking in and trying to be man to man, player and owner, and be like, yo, I don't want to be here anymore.
Right.
I ain't gonna do shit. So what do you think is the appropriate way for these players if they want out?
I feel like just like you or I, we go to our job, but what's doesn't always work out, but what's expected of us? That 2 week notice. 2 weeks.
Are you talking about quitting? No, 2 weeks notice.
2 week notice.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm thinking about leave. Can you give us 2 weeks? Yeah, I can give you that. NBA needs to come up with a date. If you want out, because James Harden had an entire offseason. There was no pandemic yet. You had an entire offseason, and you wait a week before the season to say, you know what, I want out. What can we do with that?
She's saying, like, if you want out, just like there's a trade deadline.
Then make it known.
There should be, like, a player opt-out deadline.
Right, by this date.
Like, I would like to opt out of my contract.
Yeah, if you're not happy with your current situation, let it be known by this date. If it ain't done by that date, then express it to the franchise. Keep it private, bro. Don't let it get sloppy. Don't let it get messy. Because, again, that works out for neither party. It doesn't benefit you. It doesn't benefit the team. It makes you more difficult it makes the resolution more difficult to come by.
I'm going to hate myself for this. But this is where, for different reasons, okay? So, obviously, everybody has their Mount Rushmore of GOATs, and especially basketball. You got Jordan, Kobe.
It's the most fun debate
Magic,
ever.
LeBron, Bird, whatever. Dude, like, LeBron on the court, and I'll say this honestly, and that this is in no particular, and definitely in particular order. My top 3 basketball players of all time is Kobe, Michael Jordan, and LeBron James.
Okay.
And yes, I'm putting LeBron James third. Because you fucking have to. If you're being an honest human being, like, you can hate on LeBron as much as you want to.
Right.
Or you can find the excuses, the loss to win the loss ratio in the finals, the clutch factor that people wanted to argue about at various points in his career, myself included. You can try to find them, but you can find the same things for Jordan. Jordan wasn't the best defender on this team, despite the fact winning Defensive Player of the Year. It's easy to know that it was Scottie Pippen.
Right.
Whatever. Like, you can find these reasons as to jockey these guys on the list. But LeBron makes top 3 for me. Because Steph Curry's number 4, by the way. LeBron makes number 3 because of, like, dude, this motherfucker off the court is so goddamn smart. Yes. Look at how he is structured. And this is what, like, to this. It's like, look at how he has structured his contract since he left Cleveland the first time.
Right.
Almost always with, like, his own opt-out. The no trade clause, like, I can wait. Like, no, I'm not leaving if I don't want to.
Right.
I can wait, but I can waive it phone. But then everything is like, yeah, I'm gonna stick with y'all. Like, it seems like everything is so greatly calculated with him. Like, I can look at this team.
Everything is on his time.
I got y'all. I'm gonna give y'all 2 years for sure. But the 3rd year, I'm gonna make a fucking choice.
Yeah.
4th year, I'm gonna make a choice. Like, and he's been doing that shit since he literally left Cleveland, and he's the only player I've seen do it, and no one talks about it.
Before.
They talked about it they tried to, and then some other players attempted it. Like, KD attempted it and bungled it, but he's still getting paid an astronomical amount. But he didn't leverage it the way that, like, LeBron has.
Right.
Like, should more dudes just, like, wise up and pay attention to how LeBron structured his contracts for the last decade?
Yeah, yes, at a minimum. It's like he's agreeing with what you said, but he actually started it before because his original extension coming off of his rookie contract was structured in a way that they could form the Big Three. For those of you who don't know, yes, the Big Three in Miami was pre-planned. Yeah. It wasn't supposed to be D-Wade, LeBron, and Chris Bosh. It was supposed to be LeBron, D-Wade, and Melo. Melo opted to take the extra year and take the full money from the Nuggets. That's why they went out and got Chris Bosh. They talked about it at the 2000 the Olympics. Their first year in the Olympics.
So that's gonna be another topic for our what if. Is what if Melo went instead of Bosh? Oh, them boys might have won 8 straight. Boys might have never lost again.
Yeah, it's like to your point. Yeah, like every generation learns from the greats of the previous generation. Yeah. So all of the guys, we'll just call it Kobe's generation, the Iverson, Kobe, KG, Duncan, all those guys learned marketing from the Jordan generation. LeBron's generation learned everything from Jordan's generation, Kobe's generation. This generation, learn from LeBron. Look at what he's doing. Yeah. Like,
because LeBron is this generation. So it's like, pay attention to what he's doing. Right. Him or Steph, because Steph did this. Steph is more of a homer, so it's like both ways. Right. But no, it's both. Both are brilliant ways of looking at it, because even Steph has a lot of stuff built into his contracts with Golden State, to where it's like, look at both. If you have the idea of being like, you know what, I'm willing to move city to city for success, right? Which I'm not faulting nobody for. Again, I love international soccer. Like, I'm a huge Cristiano Ronaldo fan. That's literally what every great soccer player ever has done. None of them have played for one team their whole career. Literally, like, none of them. They all have multiple jerseys. Like, even fucking Messi, who was the longest tenured Barcelona player, is now playing for PSG. Like, he's not even on Barcelona anymore. He's in fucking France. So it's like, you don't have that loyalty stuff for them. It's about chasing success. Right. So with LeBron, it's about chasing success. So if that's the kind of player that you're accepting, that you're willing to be, like, I don't mind switching teams to get these rings. Follow the LeBron model. Yeah. If you want to be a homer, like a Kobe Bryant, a Dirk Nowitzki, a Steph Curry, follow their model, because they were still very involved with how their contracts are structured. Right. That always gave them leverage to be like, yo, I can either, with Dirk, I love Dirk Nowitzki for like a billion goddamn reasons. On top of the fact that he showed up to every home game. Shout out to his wife with always a home cooked plate and the tinfoil on the paper plate, like a real OG. That's a black man right there. That's a black man right there. So it's like, I love Dirk, but even with him, it was like they had structures in their contracts where it's like, if I need to take money out my salary, it's not going to cause some big issue. Accounting wise, I can just move that money to allow y'all to bring us in more players. So it's like, just look at those two models. I just feel like so many of these kids nowadays are just, like always, starstruck with the money.
Yeah, even with that being said, look at the players you name. Steph, Kobe, Dirk, you can go back. Tim Duncan. What do they all, the one thing they all have in common? How messy did any of those situations get?
Never.
Never heard about it.
The messiest was probably Kobe's, and that wasn't even that it was messy. I mean, there was the messy incident with him wanting to get traded to the Clippers, but that was like a threat, like, yo, get rid of Shaq, or I'm out.
You heard about it once, and that was it. Yep. Again, Steph, you never heard. Tim Duncan, a lot of people don't even know. I think I told you once, like, Tim Duncan literally almost left San Antonio. Yeah. People don't realize this, because it didn't get messy. Popovich got on the plane, went to go see him. They worked it out. And he's been a Spurs for Dirk. Never heard issues.
Not Bob Lowe. What's his name?
Bob Marley.
The owner of the fucking Warriors. To your point.
Bob Myers.
Bob Myers. Yeah. I don't know why I was thinking Bob Lowe. This is not even a person. I'm thinking Rob Lowe. Yeah. Fucking Bob Myers. I remember in an interview before Curry signed his now massive extension, but like the first one a couple years ago. And they're like, what? I'm going to paraphrase, with basically the question is like, what, is there any controversy with you and Steph? Like, are you guys working to get this done? Like, how are the negotiations going? Mm-hmm. And he laughed. Literally. He was like, there's no negotiation. Yeah. Like, Steph's going to be here. Because he was, and his statement to that is like, I'll pay that motherfucker whatever he wants. Right. Like, what do you think? We're not negotiating. It's apart from him owning the team. And even at that, I'm pretty sure they'd be like, all right, this is now the Steph Curry Warriors. Like, Well, I don't know. So moving past that.
But then you have sorry. I have to say no. AD. I'll give AD a little sympathy. Remember, AD was at the end. He was hitting the opt-out year.
Yeah.
So he was at the end, towards the end of the season, basically, or after the All-Star break. Basically, let it be known. After the season, I'm getting out. I got no problem with that. If you can move me, move me. And if you can move me here, because I'm letting everybody know I'm opting out. That's fair.
Yeah.
Now, if I want to pull off a half-season rental, at least I'm informed.
Yeah.
The team is informed. And they were able to work it out to get them to his perfect. I have zero, but even though it got a little bit messy, still, but at least
because there were like the issues with tampering,
right,
whatever, like
right.
bullshit. Whatever.
But there was open dialogue. This is what I want. I'm letting you know I'm doing this. I'm letting everybody know I'm doing this. So if you come get me, there's a chance I might not be here. Like, I have no problem with that. It's open, honest, and done in a timely fashion.
So speaking of interesting contracts, interesting situations, players being in destinations that, we might not have previously thought that they'd be in or trying to maneuver their way into, that transitions us into our newly adopted, very exciting, not a spinoff, what if section.
Oh, we got picks, man. You got to run through the picks real quick.
Oh, you want to go through the picks?
Yeah.
You don't want to get to what if?
I do, but
I want to get into the what if.
There's not a whole lot of interesting games this week.
All right. Let's make it quick. I'm not, and for people watching and listening, I'm not shitting on any of the picks this week. I'm just excited for the segment. I just want to get into it because I'm excited for hypotheticals. I'm a philosophy dude. Like, I love hypotheticals.
So you run through the games, or you want me to run through the games? I'll let you do it.
You run through
that's
it.
your thing every episode.
No. You run through it, and I'll tell you my picks. Because I'm gonna go off the top of the dome, no eyesight.
So we got obviously the Miami Dolphins pulled the upset Thursday
definitely,
night.
I would have picked the Ravens.
Yeah,
I think
defeated Baltimore.
Yeah,
which
22-10.
Yeah,
like,
I think the book is out because basically they had 24 times they blitzed corners in that game. Cincinnati beat Baltimore previous to that. It was their last loss. Cincinnati blitzed the corner a lot as well, and they handled Baltimore. I think teams are starting to see something.
Figure out how to get to Lamar.
Yeah, or at least make him do what you would want him to do versus letting him do what he wants to do.
Yeah, because if you're trying to blitz, even safeties coming down the middle,
teams
or linebackers, but that cornerback puts them back into a pocket because he doesn't have that. Yeah,
right. I think teams versus going with the contain is like, no, just go get him.
Yeah,
like, because he can break containment. His speed and elusivity is electrifying.
Too shifty.
Yeah, he's too shifty.
Too
They're
shifty.
Like, no, let's not try and contain him. Just go get him and send him in this direction, knowing that we have somebody there ready and waiting. And if you look at this, like, we just thrashed the Bengals. Who led our team in sacks? Troy Hill, who's our nickel corner. So I think in a few weeks when we play the Ravens, Lamar's going to see a lot of Troy Hill coming off that edge. But to the rest of the week, we got New Orleans and Tennessee.
Oh, that's going to be the Titans. I know Derrick Henry's out. But also on the other side, New Orleans does not have Jameis Winston. Not that that's a quarterback. But,
true.
Yeah, I had Tennessee winning that game.
Yeah, same. You got Simeon. Tennessee's playing real good football. I think they win this game even without Derrick Henry. Adrian Peterson, the ageless wonder. So
I can't believe he's back in the league, man. But I'm excited for him. I hope that he has a good return with the Titans. He's gonna get the ball out. I hope them old legs is ready for it, man.
Got Buffalo and your New York Jets. Put you down for the Jets.
I'm definitely going with the Buffalo Bills. I feel like they slipped up last week. They had an uncharacteristic loss.
That was a wild game.
Yeah, so I think that Buffalo's got to get their ship right, and it's an easy game for them to kind of turn some things around when you're playing the Jets. It'll be a good moral victory, and they're gonna need it because I have comments on when we get to the AFC North and West on why Buffalo needs to make sure they stay on top of their shit.
There's only going to be one Josh Allen on the field, so there won't be that confusion.
Right.
We got Pittsburgh's got a bye week this week.
Pittsburgh's playing the Lions.
Yeah.
Sorry, and it's in Pittsburgh. Sorry, Detroit. You dropping the 0-9. Pittsburgh's taking the win. Najee Harris gonna put up like 150 yards, all purpose from the scrimmage. Like
You got Jacksonville and the Colts in Indy.
that's gonna be the Colts. I think I see your man Jonathan Taylor going for. I'm gonna give him a 135 spot.
130 total or just rushing?
135 rushing with Jonathan Taylor.
Okay.
1 touchdown.
I actually got Jacksonville winning this game.
Okay.
I think they ride the high and they pull off another upset.
Good. I'm glad that we got some. We need to have these differences. Because I'm still winning right now, but you closed the gap on me last week. Because I had, oh my God, I got so many people. I got so many picks wrong last week. I got the Broncos pick right, and that was a throwaway. That was the one pick. Like, what I think I told you. I'm like, I'm doing that. I called it because I call shit, but like unintentionally. I was like, I'm picking the Broncos just because they play like shit against us. That was my literal only rationale. I had the Broncos as like a 1-point win kind of shit. Like, oh, we could easily get blown the fuck out. But the Cowboys don't play well against us. I didn't even know how right I was on that. And that the Cowboys, I didn't know this fun fact. The Cowboys have not beaten the Denver Broncos since 1995. Fuck you, Dallas. Y'all ain't them boys in Denver. Y'all boys ain't fucking with Broncos. What you talking about? Y'all ain't beat us in 26 years. So I'm like, dope. But everything else I got wrong. I think it was the Chiefs eking out a win at the last. I got so many wrong last week. So this week I might get the Jags Colts one wrong too. But I think Jonathan Taylor gonna get the dub for him.
All right, we got Tampa Bay Buccaneers against the football team.
Bucks. Keep that quick, short, simple. Bucks.
We got Cleveland Browns visiting Foxborough, taking on the Patriots.
I want to hear your pick first, because this is against your playoff hopeful versus your heart.
This is right now. Again, like you said earlier, if the playoffs started today, New England would be in. Ironically, they're in our spot. If it was not them, it would be us. So definitely, I think we go up to Foxborough, we get it done. We're riding high, coming off the Cincinnati win, which we have a bye week next week. We play the Lions. Then we play the Ravens. So we have 2 very important games coming up. 3 if you count this one. I think they'll take it serious. We go in, we blast. Honestly, we blast. We'll win like 31-20. I'm going to get 31-21. And we get our playoff spot back.
I want to pick the Browns. Like, so much of me wants to pick the Browns in this game. Because, again, I think that Odell being out of the picture gives Baker more confidence. I feel like, again, put up fucking 41. Your team put up 41 points on Sunday, so they look more confident. They look more relaxed. They looked on Sunday more like the team I thought they looked like all season. Yeah. But I'm also just not confident that they're over the shell shock. I think that was like an adrenaline rush win. I want the Browns to take this game, but I'm gonna pick New England. I think New England wins in a really close game.
Yeah,
I think it's like a less than 6-point win, but I think like less than a touchdown. I think New England pulls it out, especially because they're at home. Because we're getting into that time of the year, the same time of the year that you love Mike Tomlin, gotta love Bill Belichick. He's got a team that, as we said, as of right now would be in the playoffs. Yeah. Bill Belichick is smelling that fucking blood. I didn't think they'd have a shot in hell at being at this point. So the fact that they're 5-4, they're at home against a team, as you said, that you can flip spots, Belichick gonna take that shit. Like, I think he's gonna be in his full, mad scientist, doctor in the lab, Belichick Isium shit. I think the Patriots win it.
All right. Falcons Cowboys. This is a rematch of the infamous game last season with the watermelon onside kick.
Nah, I think the Cowboys win this game. I think that them getting blasted because I said I wasn't going to talk about the Broncos unless we either fired Evangelo or made a trade, right? So I'm being fair to my word. Still not going to talk about them a lot. But for those that only saw the box score, please understand. The Denver Broncos beat the fucking shit out of the Cowboys. Like, the people that didn't tune in and actually see the game, we were up 30-0 with 5 minutes left. And then we gave up 2 meaningless touchdowns because we were up 30-0. Like, the Cowboys offense had amassed like 150 total yards through the first 3.5 quarters of the game. We fucked them up badly. I don't think that the Cowboys took that shit lightly. No. I don't think that they were expecting to get punched in the mouth that hard, especially by a team, and this is mine, that's kind of been fucking around all season. We don't really know if we're good or not. I still don't know if we're good or not. That's our first win against a plus 500 team. So it's like, I think that the Cowboys are going to take that shit to heart. And I think that they get back to their winning ways. I think they win emphatically against the Atlanta Falcons. Yeah. They have to.
Carolina and Arizona.
That's Arizona. That's not even, again, Cam Newton, congrats on coming back, but your first game back is going to be an L. You're going into Arizona on the road against Kyler Murray and that all. Nope, that's Arizona. I'm taking Arizona, not even close.
I got Dallas in the previous game, I didn't say. But this game, I'm qualifying it. Yeah. If Kyler Murray plays, he's a game-time decision. If Kyler Murray plays, I'm taking Arizona. If Kyler Murray doesn't play, I'm taking Carolina.
Okay, that's fair.
So, second week in a row, he'll be a game-time decision. I think more than likely he'll play. But that Cam Newton, regardless, that Carolina defense is serious. For people who don't know.
I think that the Cardinals are just a far superior team.
Yeah, but if Colt McCoy I don't see Colt McCoy surviving the game against that defense. Yeah. Not Colt. Kyler, yeah. Not Colt.
Not Colt.
Colt 45.
There's nobody named Colt.
All right, Vikings and the Chargers.
I got the Chargers.
All right.
So this is where it gets tricky for me. So I'm gonna hijack for a second because
the Vikings.
There's a trio of games going on that all have a lot of very interesting implications, and that's the next trio of games. You got the Chargers and the Vikings in LA, Philadelphia going into Denver, and Kansas City going into Vegas. Why I'm bringing that up is the AFC West, which if you look at the playoff picture, it's really going to come down to like division winners and then the AFC West for like the playoff spots. And what's crazy about this shit is that if Kansas City beats Vegas, hold on, I wrote it down. Kansas City beats Vegas and the Chargers lose, Kansas City is back on top of the AFC West. Yeah. It's wild. With like the shit start that they've had, they're one win and basically some help from the Chargers away from being back on top of the AFC West.
That's why people been in my ear. You want them, but I keep telling people like until how many weeks we got now? 18. Until week 18 is over and there's not that little dot by Kansas City name that they missed the playoffs. Because they're not going to be out. As a matter of fact, they might show up to somebody's stadium ready to play and just play anyway. Yeah. Like, y'all aren't playing. We're taking your spot.
Excuse me. We had next. No, you didn't.
Nah. Yeah.
We got now. Y'all got next. We got now. So I got the Chargers winning this game because I feel like they have to, because that pressure's on from Kansas City. Because Kansas City, skipping ahead, I think Kansas City beats Vegas this Sunday. Yeah. So I think Kansas City's going to put itself in a position to put that pressure on the LA Chargers to keep the top spot in the AFC West. I think that the Chargers know that they're at home. I think that they hold it down and they beat the Vikings.
Okay, I got Minnesota in this one. I think Minnesota their season has gone kind of like the Chargers season went last year. And the Chargers lost a bunch of games, 3 points or less. They just couldn't pull it out. This year they've turned that around. This week I think they kind of revert, and Minnesota has actually been that team this year. They've lost a bunch of games, 3 points, can't make a kick to not go to overtime. Get to overtime, can't make a kick to win the game. Like, they've just barely, and this week I think they actually get that 3-point win. Seattle and Green Bay. Seattle and Green Bay. It's always a fun game.
That's going to be Green Bay.
Russell Wilson's first game back.
Russell Wilson will be back, but so will Aaron Rodgers. It's in Green Bay. I think Green Bay wins the game.
All right, I got Seattle, man. Dangerous first game. The T9000 is ready.
I like it. Again, we need some different.
Like, this is probably the fun. Is always watching. I don't know how they became rivals ever since the Fail Mary, but Green Bay and Seattle has been like one of the funnest rivalries to watch since Russell Wilson's been in the league. Philly and Denver.
I gotta go with Denver again, only because it's in Denver, and I think, and if we win this game, we'll go 3 for 3 against the NFC East.
Okay.
So we'll sweep that matchup series. I'm not saying this because I have a lot of confidence in my Broncos. I don't have confidence in Jalen Hurts going into Mile High and pulling it out.
Okay.
I think it'll be a closer game than it needs to be. Again, the Broncos going into Dallas and basically shutting out, the number one offense in the league.
Right.
Is impressive. I hope our defense remembers that.
Carries over.
I know Patrick Surtain is questionable for the game. We have a couple other people that are questionable for the game. We have our offensive line that's questionable. No, Surtain's not out yet. But we lost like Glasgow, our offensive tackle. He's out for the so we have a lot of injuries. It seems like that happens to us all year. All 5 of our wins have come at the cost of a lot of injuries. It's not even a joke. It's just fucked up. It's the truth. Every win that we've had, we've lost at least 2 starters to injury, and that happened again against the Cowboys. We lost 4. So I don't have confidence in the Broncos. I just have no confidence in the Eagles. I think it'll be a close game, but I'm going to give Denver the edge because we're at home, because our defense is better than I think Jalen Hurts in that offense, especially since, they lost Zach Ertz. So Jalen Hurts really doesn't have a lot of options back there. So I think that
all fair.
I think that we pull it out by fucking default.
I got the same. I got you guys winning and essentially the same thing because you're at home. If it was in Philly, I'd probably go with Philly.
Yeah, me too. Like, and I hate to say that about my team because if we win this game, and this is the fucking irony, if we win this game, it puts us all the way in the thick of things in the AFC West and puts us like thoroughly into the playoff hunt because it'll put us at 6-4. Which would we progress past some teams or whatever, again, depending on how the weekend. But it puts us in, right in the playoff hunt. But I'm like, I don't know if we're a playoff team.
Yeah.
I'm like,
well, fortunately, you're the one. So far, you guys are the one team in the AFC West we actually have hold the tiebreaker over. So.
Yeah. So I'm like, fuck us. Like, goddamn it. But I got us winning by default. Right. I got
KC and Raiders.
I got Kansas City. I got Kansas City beating the Raiders. It's nothing against the Raiders. I think that they're still in too much turmoil, too much turnover. Deshaun Jackson's going to be making his first appearance. I think that there's just too many moving parts with them. And again, I think that the Chiefs are hungry. It's kind of what we talked about, even what I said last episode. I think that the Chiefs are in their version of desperation mode. I think that they know they probably only have a maximum of 1 to 2 games that they can lose and still make the playoffs. They're not going to trick one off to a division rival in Vegas. Like they're not going to do it.
This is we'll go back to it, but this is what makes that terrible. Number 11, when you have a guy like number 11, who the Raiders used to have, that guy puts so much fear in the defense. Like obviously Kansas City has a guy with Tyreek Hill. The Raiders no longer have that guy. I mean, Deshaun Jackson he can still move. Don't get it twisted.
He's terrible.
He's not Tyreek Hill. And he's not number 11. Without that, I think Kansas City's defense just kind of cuts loose. They're going to be all in the backfield. The Badgers going to come on 5 or 6 blitzes. Yeah. Kansas City wakes up this week. The actual Chiefs wake up this week. So I got them too.
I've had really weird deja
vu. And capping it off, OBJ's debut. Get the Rams and 49ers.
The Rams are going to blow them out.
Yeah, the 49ers are just a bad football team.
Yeah, the Rams are going to blow them out. It wouldn't matter if Odell was on the team or not. That was going to be a blowout.
Shout out to everybody who in the preseason called me a hater for saying the 49ers are going to be terrible. Shout out to y'all.
I didn't say that you was wrong. I just said they were my dark horse team. But that's why they're dark horse. I wasn't
talking about you. They know who they are.
Oh, okay. All right, so we got a little bit of time left. Not as much time as I was hoping for.
We got a lot of time.
Let's get into this what if, man.
Yeah.
It's our take on Marvel Universe.
Yeah, Marvel in the series, what if, and they changed a bunch of stuff around.
Yeah.
We're doing the sports edition. There's a bunch of scenarios that happen every season, and people always wonder, man, what if OBJ and Baker would have worked out?
Yeah.
That'll be down the line. But today we got Eli Manning, his infamous decision to not go to San Diego, and in the 2004 NFL draft, in which you had was looking like right now going to be 3 Hall of Fame quarterbacks taken in that draft: Eli Manning, Phillip Rivers, and Ben Roethlisberger. So we're going to play the game like, what if Eli had not made the decision and actually went to San Diego, the then San Diego Chargers, to play football? So you want to kick it off, or you want me to go right into it?
I want you to go right into it, man. I want to see what your what if is, because I'm gonna come at it from an analytics standpoint. Because I feel like, yeah, I got analytics on this. So I want to hear your.
All right. Well, one you got Archie Manning, who's come out and said basically he didn't like the way that the Chargers had handled their quarterback situation over the most recent years. But looking at that, it had been 17 seasons between that draft and Dan Fouts retiring. Those who don't know, Dan Fouts, a Hall of Fame quarterback who played his entire career for the Chargers, finished his career in the top 10 all time in passing, touchdowns, yada yada yada. Between that time, for 6 seasons, they had Stan Humphries, which they actually made the Super Bowl, lost to the San Francisco 49ers. For the other 11 years, yeah, you had some journeyman's fill-ins, including the infamous Ryan Leaf.
Oh my God!
You cannot blame
the biggest bust.
Right, you can't blame the Chargers.
Next to Jamarcus Russell.
Yeah,
Jamarcus Russell was able to help Ryan Leaf out. He sleeps well at night.
Right.
For those people that don't follow football as closely, just look up those 2 names. They're the worst 2 fucking draft picks in the history of life.
Yeah, you cannot blame the Chargers for Ryan Leaf not working out. Ryan Leaf himself even coming out publicly, he's now like a motivational speaker, speaks to players coming into the league about his story. He wasn't ready for the NFL life. He was immature and had some off the field issues. But with that being said, Archie Manning doesn't play the game. He wishes his son well and go be the number 1 pick, go to the Chargers. Those who don't know, the Chargers drafted a quarterback who we'll call Eli Manning. I'm gonna call him LeBron. Eli Manning was LeBron. Dude, here, okay. Eli Manning was LeBron James to Peyton Manning's Michael Jordan. Like the Mannings are like considered the first family of football.
Yeah. From
a player standpoint, ownership groups are different. But yeah, Archie played in the NFL for the Saints. Peyton Manning was the first coming of. He's probably the most hyped player to enter the NFL when he came in.
Yeah.
Eli was the next. Peyton Manning's got a younger brother. So he was that, like he was LeBron. He'd been getting hyped since high school.
Right.
Actually followed his father's footsteps, went to Ole Miss, which Tennessee. Peyton Manning didn't. He kind of dissed the family, went to Tennessee. So Eli was at LeBron. He did everything he was supposed to do. Go to San Diego. Was coming off a disappointing season, even though they had Drew Brees on the roster. A few years earlier, they had drafted Drew Brees and LaDainian Tomlinson in the same draft. We also had Antonio Gates on that squad.
Mm-hmm.
As it played out naturally, that squad actually went 12-4. That season, lost in the second round of the playoffs. Put Eli Manning on that team, just coming in, number 1, I believe he's a day 1 starter. Like, you can't have Manning on the back of your jersey. There's no QB controversy. Instead of them playing out the season the way they did with Drew Brees being the starter and then going 12-4 and then him hurting his shoulder at the end of the year, I think they trade Drew Brees on draft day. You know who I think goes and gets him? The Dallas Cowboys.
Why?
They needed a QB.
Mm-hmm.
Ironically, you know who else was in that draft that didn't get drafted at all? Tony Romo was in the 2004 NFL draft. Ended up being signed by the Dallas Cowboys. And his story is history. Because the Chargers need to get rid of Drew Brees. Guess where Drew Brees grew up? Dallas, Texas. Who loves to make splashes? Jerry Jones. And you can get him for a good price, maybe second round pick. And you definitely won't have to give up first because they're looking to unload him. I think Drew Brees ends up in Dallas, but I don't think his career plays out the way it did with the Saints because the Saints are more pass happy. However, I think he puts up slightly better numbers than Tony Romo in Dallas, and they have a solid team going forward. Tony Romo, however, know where I think he ends up? It's a trip. I think Tony Romo ends up with the Cleveland Browns. Because that particular season we signed Jeff Garcia. We're going through that whole experiment, but we really didn't have a developing quarterback yet. We didn't come into that until the next season. Tony Romo, his agent catches on. Hey, you want to go try out the Browns? He goes. I think he makes the team as our third string quarterback, and I think his career kind of plays out in that career backup journeyman type thing. Either that or he quits football and goes to play golf full time. Either way, I still think he ends up in the booth on Sundays. He's just too good at that. Like he was kind of meant to do that. But see where this is going. Like all these dots are like weird.
First of all, I think of Drew Brees. If you're talking about 04,
yeah,
you trade Drew Brees to the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah.
I don't even give a fuck what San Diego does or what the Saints do or anybody else. You put Drew Brees behind that offensive line. Because if there's one thing that the Cowboys have been piecing together for a long time, they've had consistently good offensive lines and consistently for 2 decades running games.
Yeah.
Again, they've rarely had drop-offs since the Elliott Smith days of not having a top-tier running back. Like, yeah, he might not always lead the league, but they have a 1,000-yard rusher damn near every season. You put Drew Brees on that team.
Yeah. I mean, at the time, they had Keyshawn
Johnson.
So, yeah, they had a good team.
You got, why am I forgetting his name? Jason Witten came a little bit later, a few years later. But imagine Drew Brees throwing to Keyshawn Johnson and Jason Witten in his prime behind an offensive line that gives him all the time in the world with running. Oh, my God. Okay,
but see, you're running into the teams with T.O. Remember, T.O.'s going to come to company. Yeah. So, like, again, I'm definitely not. They wouldn't have been shit like Drew Brees. Would have had a good career.
He wouldn't have got T.O. like Tony Romo had T.O. because again, T.O. came over from the Niners. Yeah,
this was after Philly, after the Philly debacle.
What are you talking about?
T.O. came to Dallas after it washed out in Philly.
Oh yeah, okay. Wait, no.
Yeah. Really? The Niners traded him to Baltimore. He kind of rescinded that because Uncle Ray don't play that in the locker room. And then ended up being traded to Philly. And after the Philly debacle, that's when he went to Dallas. That's when it's my teammate. That's my quarterback.
Oh, you fucking.
So Drew Brees would have gotten T.O.
Drew Brees would have had T.O. Bruh. Drew Brees would have had Keyshawn Johnson.
I told I was making
Jason Witten and T.O. So
DeMarco Murray. In that time, needless to say, I believe the Cowboys get a Super Bowl.
Oh, definitely. That's what I was gonna say. I was gonna say they get at least 2. Like, and that's what I love about this. What if we over here talking about the Dallas Cowboys winning the Super Bowl?
And the question is if
Eli just goes to San Diego instead of going to the Giants, because then you also have to factor that in. Because if Eli Manning is not on the Giants,
the Giants just keep Phillip Rivers.
Yeah, they just keep Phillip Rivers, but then it's like I think that's an easier road to get through the Giants without Eli Manning, because Eli Manning had something. That's where I'm the stats guy. Eli Manning. Man, I mean, if you look at their stats, there's the argument. There's just an argument as to why it is that Eli Manning would be in the Hall of Fame and Phillip Rivers shouldn't be. Because there's a good argument for why Phillip Rivers is not a Hall of Fame quarterback, despite the fact that he's like top 10 passing yards. I think he's 6th now with 63,000, whatever. Mm-hmm. But it's like if you look at their careers, even if you look at the talent around them, think about what Eli Manning would have done with the San Diego Chargers, bro.
Yeah, you're the Hall of Fame running back. You had a Hall of Fame tight end. You had no slouches on the outside. You had Keenan McCardell. You eventually would have had Vincent Jackson. Needless to say, I believe Eli Manning becomes the first rookie to start a Super Bowl, and they actually win it. I think Eli Manning gets a ring his rookie year.
I wouldn't have been surprised because, again, like just even for a quick snapshot of the San Diego Chargers during the time that Phillip Rivers was there versus the New York Giants during the time that Eli Manning was there, obviously the same length of time. Eli Manning, throughout his career, only played with 4 first-team all pros.
Right.
Total.
Yeah.
Phillip Rivers played with 11.
Yeah.
Including
2 Hall of Famers.
Yeah, including 2 Hall of Famers, Antonio Gates and LaDainian Tomlinson. And LaDainian Tomlinson, who was an MVP and then runner-up MVP in back-to-back fucking seasons.
Yeah, and that's where I'm going.
Like, so I'm like, you put that team together. Like, yeah, Phillip Rivers had 9 Pro Bowls. Eli Manning didn't have as many. But look at what he did with less.
Yeah.
With that, like, take into account, because I was trying to look up the numbers as far as like their best passing seasons.
Mm-hmm.
Phillip Rivers, on one of his best passing seasons, his best wide receiver picked up almost 1,800 yards.
Yeah.
And then he also had LaDainian Tomlinson, who that same season won an MVP because he had 2,400 all-purpose.
Yeah, 1,800 rushing, 500 to 600 receiving.
Yeah. Eli Manning's best wide receiver that he had in his best season barely crossed 1,000. 1,009 with Brandon Jacobs. Running back, I'm sorry. Brandon Jacobs. That was his best running back. Like, he never had an offense. Eli Manning didn't. Even Odell, he didn't get him till late. He got Odell in like 2011, 2012.
He was,
and Manning was basically done by 2016.
Yeah.
Like,
he's just too beat up.
Yeah, because he took more sacks than anybody else, and he also still holds the record for most career consecutive starts.
Yeah.
So I'm like, Eli Manning was a beast. Like, as a man, was a fucking machine.
Yeah.
Let's call it what it is.
Manning brothers in general, nobody can question either one of their
toughness.
durability.
Yeah. Like, they're going to stick it out.
If they can walk, they can play. They're playing.
Yeah. Fucking Peyton Manning just entered the Ring of Fame for the Broncos.
Yeah.
Still threw a 50-yard strike to Brandon Stokely. Fuck is good. Even though myself and all of the Denver fans watching that game, because we lost that game.
Yeah.
We lost. That was at the beginning of the game. Then we lost the game. It was like 3 weeks ago before we won our back-to-back ones. We had people, myself included, I was like, bro, Peyton, you clearly still got it. You better than the motherfuckers we got on the roster right now.
Right.
I'd take Peyton. I'd take Peyton right now.
Speaking of him.
Peyton, come back. I never thought I'd say that. You know that. Peyton, come back. I'll take you right now. Please come back.
Speaking of him, because we got, like I said, I think that's the way year one plays out. Remember when he went to the Giants, he sat behind Kurt Warner for a year, so he really didn't play his rookie year. I don't think that happens in San Diego again because of the name on the back of his jersey. Year 2, I think they regress a little bit. They're drunk off their success. They won a championship early, but I still think they win the division, make the playoffs. They just lose in the playoffs. Push on to here's where it gets real interesting for me, people. Year 3, 2006 season. 2006, the actual San Diego Chargers went 14-2, had the best record in the NFL. Not the AFC, not the AFC West. They had the best record in the NFL, and 4 other teams went 13-3 that year. That's wild.
Yeah.
With Eli, I think they push it. I think they actually go 15-1 in what is probably the best team he's ever played on. So they go 15-1. You still have LaDainian Tomlinson. Guess who else you have in that team? You're a Broncos fan, so you know all these guys. Who's LaDainian Tomlinson's backup? Michael Turner. People forget about Michael Turner, who was a savage. That backfield probably comparable to Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt. It's like they can both did. Like you could put LT in the slot.
750. He's getting 750 yards rushing.
Right.
Yeah, he's like 1,000 yards from scrimmage guy.
Yeah, you had Quentin Jammer on defense, Sean Phillips, Donnie Edwards, Steve Phillips, like squad. Guess who won the Super Bowl that year? Indianapolis Colts. I do not think that happens. I think San Diego runs roughshod over the NFL. Eli Manning gets his second ring in 2006.
So let's say 2007, though.
He put 2007 is interesting because what happened in 2007?
Eli Manning toppled the untoppable.
Right. The New England Patriots were undefeated.
Goes undefeated.
I don't. Because you're bringing that exact same squad back, and guess who I'm going to give you now?
Because now New England got to go through San Diego.
Right. And guess who they give you now? I'm going to give you another name, and you're a Broncos fan. I know you hate this name. That year, You got LT, Michael Turner, and who? Mighty Mouse. Darren Sproles is now on that squad.
That little dude was so
joining an already 2-time Super Bowl winning squad with the defense intact. Marty Schottenheimer does not get fired because they fired him after going 14-2.
Yeah, because San Diego makes great business choices.
Right. Marty Schottenheimer remains intact. What is Eli Manning's? What does he do better than any other player in NFL history? Beat Tom Brady.
Like the only one.
Yeah, I think they both come into the game with 1 or 2 losses, Patriots and the Chargers. But I think Eli takes it to him for his 3rd Super Bowl in 4 years and first time back to back.
So you think that if Eli went to San Diego with the roster as it was constructed,
yeah,
that they essentially become the Patriots? Like the Patriots dynasty that we know now, that actually happened. You think that would have been in San Diego,
right?
instead of in Boston.
The early years. The
early years is same thing with New England though. Is those early years that establish your long term because now you become a destination.
Yeah,
and also you're looking at San Diego. Guarantee you, like Aaron Rodgers said about Green Bay, motherfuckers ain't going to Green Bay. They ain't going to Boston to vacation. They're going to San Diego. To vacation. Let's go to fucking SeaWorld and shit.
But yeah, I think it's 2 different mindsets.
Wanting to come to the beach and play in San Diego for a championship winning team.
Yeah.
So I think that the Chargers become the Patriots dynasty.
So
the Patriots dynasty doesn't happen.
And that's where we get into upper management and ownership. Because Robert Kraft, he's one of the best owners in sports. He genuinely wants to win. I don't think the Chargers owner genuinely wants to win. I think they were just kind of thrust in this situation. Eli comes. They have a roster constructed to win that actually the roster fits every strength Eli Manning has. Mm-hmm. It's got big physical receivers. You know, he likes big because in New York you had Plaxico Burress, was Amani Toomer. So the roster, again, Hall of Fame. You had Tiki, but Tiki ain't LT.
No, not even close.
Shockey. Oh, that's funny. Jeremy Shockey, I love you.
Yeah.
Due to health, probably. He ain't Antonio Gates. Like, that roster was, like, literally built for Eli Manning. But going forward, you got the owner. We got 3 championships. They go to the city. We need a new stadium. I think because they're winning, they're bringing in revenue. City folds, gives them a new stadium, and I think that's where it stops. So going on 2008 and forward, I think you see the team start to decline. The Patriots rise. So the beginning of the Patriots dynasty, I think, just happens later.
Oh, so you
think I think the San Diego Chargers are to the Patriots what the Pistons were to the Bulls.
Like delaying the inevitable.
Yeah, like. New England had to go through San Diego.
And then once they do.
Right.
Oh, okay. I can see that. I think that But I just think that the whole power shift though would have stopped the Patriots from ever getting on track.
No,
because I feel like I just feel like for a lot, you see it in every sport and every dynamic when you have a team that would have been hypothetically as successful as the Chargers would have been with Eli Manning. It shifts the whole landscape because you have teams that now need to feel like they have to adjust to keep up. The Patriots weren't in that sphere. You know, like, yeah, they won the championship in 2001. Like, then, you know, I guess they were. They'd already had the culture. Yeah, they already had the culture because they'd already won three championships in 4 years.
Yeah, but the problem was, and the reason why I think this plays out like this, and again, I'm ready for the hate. Just bring it. Don't blame me. Look at the numbers and look at your man, more importantly. What people forget is, I dislike the term, but I'll use it because you like it. People forget the first 6 years of Tom Brady's career, he was a game manager. Like, he got drafted. He sat for a year. The second year, he comes in with Drew Bledsoe, gets hurt. The rest of that season's history. They go on. They beat the greatest show on turf. But what people don't understand is for the rest of that season, the Patriots ran the ball more than they threw it. They came back the next season. Bill Belichick tried to turn the offense over to Tom Brady. They went from Super Bowl champion. They went 9-7, eliminated first game of the playoffs. What did they do the next season? They pick up Corey Dillon. What happened that season?
Tom Brady got hurt that year.
No, he didn't.
Tom Brady's never won less than 10 games in his career.
Yes, he has.
As a starter?
Yes, he has. That second year after they won the Super Bowl, they went 9-7 and lost in the playoffs. Again, but this is my thing. People forget it's Tom Brady's G. No, people go back and actually look at the man. Or if you're old enough, just remember from watching football. Yes, they went 9-7, lost in the playoffs. Came back the next year. What happened? And this is because Belichick tried to give him the offense.
Yeah.
The next year, they signed Corey Dillon. Once again, they ran the ball more than they threw it. They won the Super Bowl. Come back the next year, still with Corey Dillon, same teams. When they repeat, they ran the ball more than they threw it. Bill Belichick didn't give Tom Brady the offense again until they signed Randy Moss, which was that season. Now, because of that, that's why I think San Diego can do that, because Tom Brady wasn't Tom Brady yet. He didn't become Tom Brady until basically 06, 07 going forward.
I'm going to have to, after this episode, and I'll open this bookmark for the next one. I'm going to have to do some research.
Yeah, go look at it.
No. Because I don't have off the top of my head, I'm not in a position to argue right now. So I'm not going to say that I'm not going to say that you're wrong. I'm not going to say that you're right. Because you know that I would like to debate from that point. I'm not going to be like, oh, no, you're saying something that I'm like, I am not 100% sure on.
Which part?
Like both parts. Like the 9-7 season. I feel like that's an easy one to get right or wrong as far as like debunking. But like the going through and seeing when you could argue that Tom Brady had the offense turned over to him. Like which seasons did they consistently run the ball more than they threw it? That's going to be something I'm going to have to like spend some time looking into.
I can do it. I can show you that year when Drew Bledsoe went hurt. If you look at it,
I'll take out his first year.
Like, I'm this is for the people.
Yeah,
you look at it. You look at it for the season. They passed the ball more than through. They had Drew Bledsoe for the first two games. And once he goes down, if you actually break down game by game, Tom Brady's eliminating the first two games. They ran the ball 40 more times that season than they threw it when Tom Brady was playing.
For me, I would eliminate that whole season. And I'm saying that because I had an Astros for Phillip Rivers for a similar reason. Mm-hmm. I would eliminate that whole season for Tom Brady because that's kind of standard protocol, even in the pass-happy NFL now, is that if you have your star, like, what did even the Packers try to do? What did the Bears try to do the first? Not the Bears, because we talked about now.
He never had a quarterback.
But what were we saying? Like, you need to protect Justin Fields by running the ball. If you have a new quarterback, a young quarterback, getting used to the league, you need to run the ball with him before you throw it. So, of course, they're going to be more run-heavy than pass-heavy Tom Brady's first season.
Right.
Maybe even his first season or two. So that's why I'm like, I would want to go myself, and I'll do this for the next episode, and I want to see when I can make a distinction that they turn the offense over to Tom Brady. Yeah. It might agree. It might coincide with you. It might not. But that's what I'm saying. I'm like, I don't know yet, so I'm not going to say whether you're wrong or right because I could do my research and be like, oh, you was fucking spot on. Or I could do it and be like, oh, you're fucking out of your mind because, you know, I love to go. But I'm going to look into it. I'm going to look into it.
But I count the first season because, again, like you say, it's every quarterback. No quarterback.
Rarely.
It's rare that you come in and you're a superstar day one.
Yeah, you got like.
So to those who say Tom Brady's never been a game manager, you're insane. He had a first year of starting every quarterback.
Who the last superstar rookie was
to just come in and kind of
crush it.
Probably Cam Newton, but the team wasn't good.
That's my guy. People. That's why I love my man right here. Yeah, because it's Cam Newton. Cam Newton came out that rookie season and put the world on fire.
If you want to go first, but if you want, you have to differ. If you want to go rookie or first season, if it's first season, it's Patrick Mahomes.
No, I said rookie.
Right, that's what I say up there. If you want to go rookie or first season, if you just want to go straight rookie, it probably Cam Newton.
Because he came out, set a bunch of rookie records like he was. Yeah, they weren't super successful. You didn't have nobody around him. And nobody was expecting that shit either.
You could make an argument for Lamar.
Ooh, I got a what if
Even
question.
He didn't start but half the season.
I got a what if question that we're not gonna actually get into, but it's just a what if for the people. Because it's similar to this draft. We talking about, what if San Diego had held on to Eli Manning with the number 1 overall pick? What if Carolina had taken Von Miller instead of Cam Newton? And what if the Broncos took Cam Newton instead of Von Miller?
Everybody would have been fired.
You know, because
The day after.
I mean, but think about it. Though. No, well, I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
But think about it though, because look at what happened with both of their careers, both positively. Like let's say at the time they even met in the Super Bowl, it's like you couldn't have argued that you'd have been wrong. They were drafted both in 2011, I believe. So it's like, you know, Cam Newton went number 1, Von Miller went number 2. Von Miller, I mean, they met in the Super Bowl 5 years later against each other.
I don't think that happens.
So I'm like, but what happens? Because we needed a quarterback. So what if
Carolina's defense is amazing because you have Luke Kuechly and
Von Miller.
However, their offense is trash.
But then we get Cam Newton. It's like, yeah, we don't get that huge piece, but then do we have a quarterback problem? Do we ever get Peyton Manning? Because if we got Cam Newton, we don't get Peyton Manning.
Yeah.
You know, because if we take him instead of Von Miller, who? All right. So, I mean, we all over the place. See what this can do? You got a couple more points with the what if?
Just interesting and see, I told you I was going to make you think about a couple things I'm saying because, like, Tony Romo was in that draft. That's why. Yeah. And again, because of the way it plays out, I think Dallas goes get Drew Brees. I do think Drew Brees will win the Super Bowl in Dallas. I think Phillip Rivers would have got one in New York. Peyton Manning, I do not think gets 2. I think New York. I only think Peyton Manning gets the 1 in Denver. I do not think they win that Super Bowl with the Colts because that year.
But you still think he ends up in Denver?
Yeah, I think that played. Now it's almost like you have to, and that was kind of injury. Like it was, it really wasn't like screw y'all losing, I'm leaving. Like it was, they were put in a situation where we got generational talent, we got to take it.
Yeah. So we thought until he, you know, only lasted like 3.5 games. It felt like,
but just a little nuggets.
Luck had no luck.
I think LaDainian Tomlinson is allowed to finish his career out in San Diego on his own terms instead of having to go into the Jets. Yeah. Same thing with Eli. I think the end of his career is a little more gentler instead of the way it ended with Daniel Jones. I think he's allowed to step away on his own. I still see Michael Turner kind of leaving, whether he ends up in Atlanta or not. Who's to say? But obviously he's going to want to step out of LaDainian's shadow. Sproles kind of didn't care. He was happy in his role. He knew he was never going to be like a feature back. So I think LaDainian and Sproles, they're a 9+ win team every year with those two, Eli and Antonio Gates, playing until he's 117. Eventually getting guys like Vincent Jackson but biggest thing, I don't think they ever leave San Diego. If they get the new stadium, get the stadium they want because they produce Super Bowls. People are excited. Yeah. Like you said, San Diego is a beautiful city. If I ever leave Vegas, I'm going to San Diego.
Shit, I'm right there with you.
It's a vacation destination. So they get their stadium, and I think they're still the San Diego Chargers.
Yeah, because I mean that's the only thing that you need for funding is you need a successful team, and that's people that San Diego fans are fucking annoying to me. It's like y'all wanted to complain that the Chargers left San Diego, but y'all weren't showing up to the fucking games. Right. Same thing when they were thinking because it was offered that they might sell the San Diego Padres. Yeah. And then shit, we don't want to lose them too. So now you fuckers want to go to. It's like if you don't want to lose your team, show up. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't complain.
I went to the Super Bowl in San Diego. It was awesome.
I'm like, if y'all want a team, support them. Be there for them. Like. Hell, why did the Broncos beat the Cowboys? Probably because half that stadium was full of Denver fans. You know what I'm saying? Like, and you see these traveling fans everywhere, but not rocking Chargers jerseys. Yeah. And if they'd had an Eli Manning, maybe they'd have more pride. Yeah. That has a couple Super Bowls. I mean, he showed that he could do it. Yeah. That's the greatest of all time. So
exactly. And people forget, like, if you just going off regular, Eli Manning.
Would he have had that grit though? That's where we're getting into the meta. Would he have had the grit that he learned in New York and taken a team that wasn't even supposed to be in the playoffs, and then you have to go up against the fucking juggernaut of juggernauts. You're a team that finished 10-6.
He would have been the juggernaut,
but you finished 10-6. You started that season though. They're one of the rare teams. Like there's only been 3 teams in NFL history to win the Super Bowl after starting the season 0-2. The Giants with Eli Manning are fucking 2 of them. Both of his Super Bowls, they started
Who's
off the
third?
season. I don't know.
Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah, I didn't have it. I was all mad. I just knew that the big fact was like, yo, it's only happened 3 times because typically statistics, we talked about this earlier. You start off 0-2, your chance of even making the playoffs drop to 20%. Winning the Super Bowl is like, ha. You are clearly smoking something that I'm not. Can I get a little bit?
Right.
Because I want to be as high as you are to think you have a chance of making the Super Bowl. Eli did this shit twice, but do you think, and this is, again, this isn't like for full debate. It's just like the meta question to take for the people. Take home with you. Take home with you. This idea of, do you think that he learned the grit to beat a Tom Brady by being a 9-7, 10-16, going up against the beautiful one, the fucking GOAT, Tom Terrific, and having that chip on his shoulder? He wouldn't have had that in San Diego because they had a stacked team. Whereas the Giants were the epitome of an ultimate underdog against that Patriots team.
I don't think he would have had a chip. However, in its place, just remember what you had on that team. You had Keenan McCardell, who had been part of this team I always tell you about. The best team never won the Super Bowl. You say they went 14-2. They only lost to one team, Jacksonville Jaguars.
Twice, yeah.
Yeah, same team twice, and that team, 3 times because they beat them in the freaking playoffs. So you had guys like him, the defense, Edwards, felt like you had veterans who were like, we can win. And I think those guys, and then you had LT, who's one of the best, came in as one of the best to do it. I think they mold him. He doesn't need a chip, but he's got that motivation. Like, look, bro, we nice. We know we nice. Just don't fuck it up. We don't need you to be your brother.
I'm gonna stop.
Just don't mess it up.
I'm gonna stop you real quick because I'm gonna coin my own dumbass phrase. You have that you're more writer. I'm gonna say more a leader. When you have 2 teams that are elite, you're gonna have one that's gonna be more a leader. You got the fucking like take for example, you got Tom Brady and the Patriots going up against this another elite team.
Okay, no.
Hold on. Like, Tom Brady on any team is elite. They gonna compete against your elite. You know what I'm saying? Like, can your elite, that's what I'm saying, elite-er. Can your elite match ours? No, it can't. What's the only thing that can beat them, like Superman kryptonite bullshit? Something unexpected. Like an underdog team that they're looking past, right? We're looking past this team. Mm-hmm. Because the Patriots, if they're going up against a stacked San Diego Chargers team, just like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers going up against the stacked fucking reigning Chiefs, Tom Brady looks at them like, oh, y'all are elite, but I'm elite-er. I'm going to bring this team and be elite-er than you are. But he wasn't ready for that against the Giants because the Giants weren't elite. They were the underdogs. They were the scrappy ones. They were the ones that do unpredictable, I'm going to catch this bitch on my helmet because I ran a bad route and this is a horrible throw and I got lucky. And that's how I beat you, as opposed to running an expertly designed, I'm killing you Randy Moss route. I think that the only way that you beat Tom Brady is to look at how the fucking Eagles did it. You have to be unpredictable. Right. You cannot out-elite Tom Brady.
But you're talking about 7-time Super Bowl champion Tom Brady, right?
Which at that point, he'd have still been 3-time Super Bowl champion.
Then that's the point. He would not have been.
He would have had 01,
he would not have been.
He'd have had 01, 03, and 04.
No, because in 04, San Diego wins.
No, that was
that's my scenario. San Diego wins in 04.
As a rookie,
That's what I started with. I think you've been the first rookie to start and win the Super Bowl.
I don't think you can out elite Tom Brady. You have to.
Eli did it twice.
No, Eli.
Even if you want to say he surprised him the first time, he didn't surprise him the second time.
Both of the teams that Eli Manning was on were garbage. The first time in 07.
Even if you want to say he surprised him the first time, he didn't surprise him the second time.
Yes, he did. Because in 07,
what's that saying? Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on who?
In 07, arguably, the matchup was worse. In that Eli Manning was on a 10-6 team. The Patriots were 18-0. Or 16-0, then 18-0 in the playoffs. But the Giants got in the playoffs at 10-6. Then they came back in 2011, only 9-7. They were arguably worse. Patriots finished that season 14-2. It wasn't a matter of like being elite.
So we're just saying is Tom Brady stupid?
No, I'm saying that Tom Brady. I'm saying that the way to beat Tom Brady is don't try to be better than him. I know that sounds so fucking ridiculous.
Okay, hold that thought. What did I just say? What did I just say about him?
What?
You said he wouldn't have had that chip. I said he wouldn't need it because he would have had guys around him that said, look, we're nice. Just don't mess it up. You don't have to be better than this dude. You don't have to be better than him. We're better than them.
No,
that's what I'm saying.
No, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying is wrong. Is that you can't out elite Tom Brady. Is that you
don't have to.
You have to surprise him.
You don't have to.
Look at all three of his losses in the Super Bowl. He lost to.
You can't. Because Eli's not there. Step back with me.
I know. I'm saying he's in San Diego. What I'm talking about is
you can. All of that is irrelevant.
No, it is relevant.
No, it's not because he didn't lose because he's not there. Like this is not. We're in a different universe.
No, what I'm saying
you're
is
stuck in your universe.
No, if you put Eli Manning on the Chargers, that makes the Chargers an elite team.
No, but you were saying look at all of Brady's Super Bowl. You can't.
What I'm saying.
That's what I'm saying. That doesn't exist.
Stop. What I'm saying about that is that Tom Brady in the Super Bowl only loses to non-elite teams. You know, the Giants twice and the Philadelphia
Didn't
Eagles.
happen.
What I'm saying. What?
Didn't happen.
Okay, just follow me on this thread. Stop trying to stop me. What I'm saying is that in the first part of this reality, factually, Tom Brady only loses to teams that are worse than him. When he's played teams that had a better record than his current team, like just take the Chiefs, 2020 season, last season when the Bucs beat the Chiefs were the better team statistically in every category. Tom Brady beat their ass. He does that every single time. All 7 of his rings have been against teams that he was better, or that the teams were elite. His losses are against teams that are not as good as him during the season. So what I'm saying is that Eli Manning, if he was on the Chargers, regardless of Tom Brady's total, they wouldn't have been able to beat Tom Brady because the Chargers would have then been an elite team, where Tom Brady and his teams, if they're playing an elite team, that's what I'm saying, they'll be elite-er. They step up and play at a level you can't. Whereas when it's bad teams like the Giants both times or the Eagles, he doesn't know what to do with that. Because you're just unpredictable as shit because you're garbage. Okay. Tom Brady doesn't know how to deal with trash.
Let me tell you what you're doing.
You think Tom Brady takes his own trash out?
No, let me tell you what you're doing.
Tom Brady ain't bag trash.
You're in Terminator universe right now.
Terminator.
Yeah, you're taking the future, mixing it with the past. That's not where I'm at. That doesn't exist. Nothing you say exists.
I get what you're saying. I'm just saying.
No, you don't. Because if you did,
anybody,
then you can't talk to me like that because it never happened.
Because the Chargers would be an elite team. Is all I'm saying.
Right, you saying.
And Tom Brady doesn't lose to elite teams.
He hadn't lost any. That's what I'm saying. I'm in this universe. Period. Tom Brady lost to the Chargers. The Giants don't exist, so you can't say that because it never happened. That's where I'm at.
All right.
I take it the distance. I don't mix universes. That's what I say. You terminated. You're going in and out. You're traveling through time. No, I'm in one. I started here, and I'm on the line, like Doctor Strange. I didn't knock off an Infinity Stone and change it. I just went with what was there.
Well, that's why I'm the Sorcerer Supreme. That's why I'm the Sorcerer Supreme, is I can see all the timelines.
You're just more wrong again. So that never happened. So he doesn't have to be more elite. He's part of a better team.
So who do you think out of the 3 heads of that GOAT argument, if you want to put him in there, Eli, Peyton, and Tom Brady, if Eli goes and stays on the Chargers, who do you think ends their career with the most rings? You still think it's Brady?
Eli.
Or you think Eli gets it?
Well, no, I mean, because then you taking some away, and then obviously Tom Brady's playing for 90 years, so you can't. But Eli definitely has more than Peyton. I think Peyton only gets 1. I think Eli gets the 3. We'll say taking those away, Tom Brady ends up with 4.
Yeah, like including that he's still playing. Give him 4.
Right, we'll say it, if he's still playing.
And how many you give to Drew Brees?
I think Drew gets 1 in Dallas. I think Rivers.
So you don't think Drew Brees improves on his career as Super Bowl wins? You think he gets 1 whether he's in Dallas or New Orleans?
I think
he gets more in Dallas.
Nah, he would have got that team 1.
Just 1.
Yeah. You put him on that TL. They didn't have DeMarco Murray. Who was the tailback? Can't remember who was it DeMarco? Nah, it wasn't him yet. It wasn't him.
The
But
running
they had
back
a
for
nice
the
running back.
Cowboys?
Yeah.
Back
When
in 04?
when
No, it
T.O.
wasn't
was-
DeMarco
yeah,
Murray.
when
DeMarco
T.O. was
Murray
there.
was
Not necessarily
08.
04, just during that time.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well, DeMarco Murray came in around like 08, 09.
Yeah, I think Drew Brees and T.O. get one.
Okay.
That was a nice team. They just you had Tony Romo fumble the freaking.
Let's not get on Tony Romo, man.
You have to.
That's a whole different debate.
But yeah, they get one. Tony Romo, I don't think ever becomes like Tony Romo again. I think he goes the career backup journeyman. I don't think he really ever gets a shot. I think the only team that would have gave him the shot was the team where he was.
And so to wrap it all up, the final
and actually take one more because you'd have to. I think.
No more pieces.
No, I think the Giants team with Phillip Rivers still wins that second Super Bowl.
So that's what I was going to ask. Do you think Phillip Rivers
that
gets
gives
one?
Brady 3?
So you think Phillip Rivers gets one?
Yeah.
In New York,
and then Pittsburgh still wins the in between year.
I don't think that Phillip Rivers gets one. I think Phillip Rivers on the New York Giants, he flames out and is a bust, and I don't think we're even having a conversation. I'm serious. And that was the other way I was going to go with this argument, but we went to other better threads. So I was going to say Phillip Rivers he's not in the Hall of Fame conversation if he's on the Giants.
Wow.
Like, at all. I think that he has a very short career and flames out of the NFL. Because, again, and that's why I was crunching the numbers, him and Eli Manning had eerily similar numbers throughout their careers.
They did.
Like, eerily close. Like, within, even the yardage was within, I know the yardage was like 7,000, but you have to factor in that Eli Manning basically rode the bench the last 4 years of his career. You know, like, you have to factor that in on top of, like, their yard. Anyway, like, there's a lot of, guys, I'm not going to go through all of it because we're at the end of the show, but it's like, Phillip Rivers was on a significantly better team throughout his entire career than Eli Manning and did not have, like, significantly better numbers. Yeah. On top of the fact of having a worse playoff record. On a team with, again, 11 first-team All-Pros, with an MVP, with Antonio Gray. So you have multiple Hall of Famers on your team. Yeah. And it's like you had a 5-7 record in the playoffs, whereas Eli Manning had none of that. He had 4 throughout his career, 4 first-time All-Pros total. I was even counting up the total number of Pro Bowlers he played with, and even that was like less than a dozen total. Like, he never had help. Even Odell, he only got for like 1 season. Realistically, you got Odell in like 2011, made that crazy catch that put Odell where he is.
The team was not good.
But again, the team won 4 or 5 games. It's like he never had anybody, but they had eerily close numbers. And I'm like, the big difference, Phillip Rivers with all of that talent couldn't do shit in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Eli Manning with no talent won 2 Super Bowls, both times against a dude who is light years fucking better than him. Like, on teams that were light years better than his.
Yeah.
So I'm like, Phillip Rivers couldn't do shit with great teams in San Diego. He would have done fuck all with bad teams in New York. Eli Manning is the only reason that the Giants are still on the fucking radar. Phillip Rivers wouldn't have done shit with that. Like, he wouldn't even be in the conversation anymore. I think he'd have had like a 5-year career and been out of the league. And then he could have had probably like 20 more children since he can't pull out of a fucking driveway.
I don't know. Because now you're creating another part of the rabbit hole. Like,
because again, I'm the sorcerer supreme.
No, them definitely not going. Because again, as you see how this stuff can lead to, like, you can. It's, man, I was like, I like this segment. We'll just leave it at that. Because if you think Rivers is going to be that bad, guess what? They're going to have some high draft picks.
But I don't think he survives it. And that's the whole thing, is that I think that they get high draft picks and go the route like the Jets, like even to a degree the Browns and the Broncos. Like, they start drafting for quarterbacks because they'll give him a few years. They're going to be a middling team. They're going to be struggling. And the first place that you look for failure after the first few years, let's say you draft a quarterback, whether it's, Eli number 1 overall or Phillip Rivers number 4 overall, you draft one of them high, you're going to give them a few years. Same thing with Zach Wilson now, same thing regardless of anything else with Tua. You're going to give these guys at least a couple of years.
Right.
If that's not panning out, which it wouldn't for Phillip Rivers in New York, you're going to start looking at that backup quarterback. You're going to start drafting towards a quarterback because you'll spend the first couple of drafts with that QB trying to shore up what you think that they need, either going after wide receivers, linemen, running backs, defense, trying to figure out a way to make it work. By year 3, every franchise is going to make a choice. And for Phillip Rivers, with, again, his production level, even in San Diego, with Hall of Famers around him in New York, without Hall of Famers, his production would be significantly less. I think that he flames out of the league and that they're looking to draft a quarterback within 4 years.
I don't know. I think it gets more time because remember that was a different time. That was pre-rookie contracts. So they were actually signing for a lot longer.
I still think
so
they
wouldn't have had for
they still move on from him. Like, they still would have moved on from him. But that's my opinion.
Yeah.
But, I mean, again, I do like the segment. I wish we'd have been able to get into it a bit earlier. Because there's a lot of threads that we can go with this.
The rabbit hole is deep.
But we'll be touching on this as a common segment. We want to do this what if for a while, kind of see what different threads we can go down, how many different options we can explore, different potential universes, get the minds and juices flowing.
Needless to say, if Eli would have went to San Diego, he would have actually been deserving of a Hall of Fame spot.
Yeah, because I think that Eli is more deserving of Phillip Rivers for a Hall of Fame spot. I would still have Eli. I wouldn't put him first ballot. He should get in, but I think that he shouldn't get in front of anybody else, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
like he should get in. You can't take away from a guy who, again, yeah, his career record isn't fantastic.
He receives the last vote for that year.
Yeah, exactly. Like if you get, because he finished his career exactly 500, which is crazy. He finished exactly 117 or 117.
They both won the same amount of games.
Who?
Phillip Rivers and Eli Manning.
Yeah, if you take out the playoffs, yeah. And so it's like he should be in the Hall of Fame. You win 2 Super Bowls, Super Bowl MVP twice. That's enough of a pedigree. Phillip Rivers should not be in the Hall of Fame at all. Period. At me if you fucking want. Please come and holler at me. We can talk about Phillip Rivers because, again, he was in the fucking AFC West my whole life. I didn't watch this motherfucker play, and that shit-tastic throwing motion that is literally makes me want to vomit every time I see it.
All right.
Golly.
Take us out.
No Phillip Rivers in the Hall of Fame.
He'll get in.
He will, but he shouldn't. This has been episode number 16 of the Next Man Up Sports podcast. I know it's a bit of a long, but I hope that y'all enjoyed the what if section. Something we're going to be trying to put in more frequently. We want to have more conversations about this, more things that will kind of challenge your mind in the way that you look at sports.
And if you got an idea for a what if that you want to see us break down, just let us know in the comments.
Absolutely. Anything that you guys want us to talk about, we're happy to look into. Make sure to hit that like, subscribe, comment, follow button, all of those. Make sure your notifications on, the way you get updated every time a new episode goes live. My name is Shaka. This is my man Bobby G. Thank y'all for tuning in to another episode of the Next Man Up Sports podcast. We'll see y'all on the next one, man. Hope y'all enjoyed it. Let's get them out of here.
Peace.